Ever wondered what coaching advice sets NBA assistants apart from the rest? Jenny, the third woman to ever coach in the NBA, shared some powerful advice recently most coaches completely overlook. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what her key advice is, how top-level players respond best, and how you can easily implement this to enhance your own coaching practice. For those that don't know, Jenny went viral on Instagram recently. Despite coaching basketball at the highest level, she used a baseball example in her presentation about best practice. The coach throws 90 balls at the batter. One after another, 30 fastballs are thrown. As the practice goes on, the batter gets better, the coach feels good, the athlete feels good, and they move on. One after another, 30 curveballs are thrown. Again, as the practice goes on, the batter gets better, all feels good, so they move on. One after another, 30 knuckleballs are thrown. Player gets better, and practice ends with everyone feeling pretty good. This is blocked practice, blocking these same types of throws, pitches, together one after another. Jenny then says there's a different way that is a million times better. Although blocked practice feels clean and organised, it isn't the most effective because it isn't game-like. You gotta mix it up.
Fastball, knuckleball, curveball, knuckleball. The ball's spraying all over the place.
This random practice doesn't feel good. Balls going everywhere. Doesn't look good with more errors appearing. But also forgets the fundamentals, right? Blocked practice helps people learn the fundamentals of swinging a bat, helps them learn the right technique, how to hold the thing, is better for developing a specific technique. And this is where Jenny hints at some different underlying assumptions for coaches. Every movement is unique, so every pitch is also unique. This means every swing is unique, so there can't be a best or right technique. The learner is paying attention to specific information to get better at those types of problems. But there is variation in the 30-ball block, so the learning is up and down, non-linear. Which is why she recommends random practice. Jenny argues getting better at specific problems is less effective when we look at the full game. The full game is random, dynamic, and filled with complex decisions, but practice should be at a desirable difficulty. So how does random practice help if it makes things too difficult? This study tested how fast someone could learn to ride a bike. There was a conventional bike with pedals and no training wheels on the back, a different bike with training wheels on the back, then a bike with no pedals or training wheels. The focus here was on the variability, more or less movement of the head, the body, and different parts of the bike. Training wheels reduce the amount of variability because they help the person balance. The idea is for them to focus on steering, then focusing on balancing. Not blocked practice, but still splitting up the whole task, known as task decomposition. Breaking up a task into parts and then trying to put them back together again. After 25 children had 10 sessions of 40 minutes each, 75% of those using training wheels could ride a bike. So it was pretty successful. But 100% of those using a balance bike, the bike with no pedals and no training wheels, could cycle on their own after the sessions. We get good at what we practice. Simplifying a task and keeping the variability, balancing on a bike with no pedals, seems better than decomposing or breaking up a task, reducing variability, working on steering, then pedaling, and then balancing. Both methods work, but simplified practice results in faster learning for the whole skill over time. Blocked practice gets better results in the session, but not necessarily for the whole skill or whole sport over time. However, what makes something blocked? If all movements are unique, we must be grouping them in some way. When I go to leave the house, I go downstairs, I then pick up the keys from the rack, I then check my right pocket for my phone, check my left pocket for my wallet, pick up my coat from the banister, and then leave the house. You likely do different things, but we would all say, when I leave the house. We all know what we mean despite the variety of movements. When basketball players practice a free throw, they all know what that means. But each shot is different. And this is another assumption Jenny is sort of poking at. Doing blocked practice of a free throw technique might be a player shooting from a free throw line, feet in a certain position, hands and body moving in a specific way to make the shot. Then trying to recreate a similar movement to a similar problem. But they could also practice the problem with different objects from different positions, with different feet placement and different body movements. This 2002 study tested these different approaches and found the most variable practice group performed as well as the other groups on the retention test despite lower practice performance. Now, we could describe the higher variable practice as random because there is lots of variation. But we could also describe it as blocked because the problem was very similar. Stand still and shoot the ball into a hoop. It sounds picky, but it changes the conversation from blocked versus random to scale of variability, high or low levels of variability in practice. This 2015 study tested an overhead pass, sidearm pass, and chest pass in basketball. Groups were split to train blocked, low variability of practice, and random, higher variability of practice. The first test, after session practice, the blocked practice group was better, just like Jenny's basketball story. But one day after practice, the random practice group was better. 2 weeks after practice, and the random practice group was better. The results of this study also indicated that random practice produces higher performance outcomes than blocked practice in all 3 skills tested for retention and transfer. So the inflexible solutions from blocked practice weren't retained as well and didn't transfer to the full game as well as the random or high variability practice. It might not look or feel clean and organized, but learning isn't. Learning is non-linear. Low variability practice works, but isn't as effective as higher variability practice in most situations. Greg Souders started coaching after he got his black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and saw this exact problem. In this video, I share about a new coaching science which has helped him create champions.